Hello, back with another painting here, and this time it's going to be something a little bit different. For the month of December, I've been touring in Gatlinburg, Tennessee with Freaky the Snowman, helping him capture his reactions on camera. This time around, we decided to collaborate and have me paint the scene of him scaring people while I still filmed it. Once we both decided on a spot we liked, I got to setting up the camera equipment for the snowman as well as all my painting equipment. I admit I was sweating a little bit here because it started taking too long to get this all set up. However, I got to it soon enough and started the sketch. Immediately upon getting into the sketch, I realized this was a much more complicated scene than I originally intended. But by the time it ended and we had to go home for the day, I got to a good spot and I was happy with what I laid out. I originally planned on finishing it in one session, but who was I kidding? The second I got into it, I knew that wasn't going to be possible. So with nothing left to do, we packed up the snowman and we all headed back to the Airbnb for the night. Tomorrow, it'll be time to go at it again. Alright, well, I tried to finish, but I couldn't. I ran out of time. So basically, I'm going to come back tomorrow. We're going to redo the snowman and keep on painting it. Hopefully, I can finish then. I got a reference photo too, so if I need to finish it another time, I can. Alright, here we are, day 2. We got back in the morning and headed back to the same spot to set up the camera gear as well as my painting equipment. Today, it rained a little bit before we got there and it was a little bit more overcast, so the light changed on me. However, I did enough work on the first session to lay out the color palette and get things locked in enough to where I wasn't lost. There were so many different details in this painting, from the snowman to the bricks to the signs in the windows to all the ever-changing people to the Christmas decorations. It went on and on and on, and because of this, I found myself kind of hopping around and working on whatever I felt at the moment. This worked for me, and I ended up getting here for the second session. Well, ran out of time again today. It's just a complicated scene, but definitely going to just continue it. And I also have enough information on the painting already to where it'll be fine. I'll be able to finish it later. I think I got my sunny color palette locked in, and even though it's been overcast and rainy today, I think it'll be good. So anyway, let's keep going. So just as predicted, I thought I would have to finish it back at the Airbnb. So I'm glad I got my reference photo during the day. It looked the best and it had my favorite color palette. So here I am just working away at the details, getting into some of the plants that I haven't gotten to yet, and getting some more of the definition of the bricks locked in. When it came to the bricks, I was heavily trying to avoid being too hyper-realistic and drawing out every single brick. So I took a more impressionistic approach on the bricks, trying to imply most of them, but have the texture die out as it went into the distance more and more. Here I am working on some of the closer bricks in the foreground, so I'm doing them much more detailed than most of the bricks going into the distance. I think it's important to do this in your subject and a lot of the details in the foreground, as it helps create depth. Here I am working on some more bricks that are even closer in the foreground, and I would say that these bricks have the most detail out of any of the ones in the painting, due to the character that they had. There was green moss and a lot more color variation, so I wanted to bring it out. These shingles, on the other hand, were another one. Every single shingle on this roof was a different color. I remember seeing this and going, oh man, this is going to take forever. I'm glad I spent the time working them out though, because I think it really added to the character of the scene and brought it out. The painting was getting very close, but there were still 2 elephants in the room, and that was the tree and the people. So I decided to move on to the tree and get that all worked out. With the trees finished, it was time to move on to the final details of the snowman and to add the people. To me, the snowman and the people putting the hat on the snowman are the main subject, so I really wanted to work out every single detail of them as close as possible. The special part of this painting, that I haven't explained yet, was that this is an actual frame in one of the reactions of the snowman. We wanted to make it so that the painting was the exact frame so we could fade it in on the collab video. When I say exact frame, what I mean is exactly where the people were standing at the time. I painted the scene live, but I copied the position of the people during one of the reactions. This woman drinking her coffee, I think, is my favorite character out of all the people in this scene. There's something about the way she's all bundled up with her scarf drinking her hot beverage that adds to the wintry vibes and the temperature. Now I'm working out the little metal grates that surrounded all the flower beds, and this is a great example to what I meant earlier when I said there is so much detail in this painting. It could go on and on. To be honest, I left out probably 25% of it because it was just too much and it probably would have taken away from the subject. I make these types of design choices all the time while I'm painting and working out my composition. I think it's important to use your composition design to draw people's eyes where you want them to look, and then only put details where they're needed in those spots. This is the point of the painting where it's starting to get really close to being finished, but there's a few little details to sort of play around with and see if they add anything. This includes any highlights, ambient occlusion, or color accents. For example, here I'm working out the rim light on the hat of the snowman because I felt it didn't stand out enough from the background. Towards the end of a painting, I'll start running out of questions to ask myself about it. I'll also start noodling around and adding pointless details. This is a great signal to know when it's complete. But no painting is complete without the best part, peeling the tape. There's something nice about having a border around it once it's done. To me, it really makes it feel like a picture, like I'm looking into a window. Plus, what's more satisfying than watching those clean white edges appear? This was an extremely challenging painting, but I'm really happy with how it came out. I worked really hard on it, and I'm excited for the next one. With the painting done, I still had to sign it and put it in its frame. The original belongs to the snowman, but it's available right now as a print in 4 different sizes on my website, planetjokum.com. Don't forget to head over to Freaky the Snowman and check out the episode that happened that day. It's hilarious and there were so many good reactions. The link to his video and my website will both be in the description of this video. See you next time.